And then, like I say, I had come from a Catholic background, so I wasn't really sure what was going on with God, you know, and Buddhism, because he wasn't talking a lot about God in his talks. And I had a big kind of Catholic thing that I was kind of, you know, bugging me, you know, what do Buddhists think about God? And I asked him, so I plucked up the courage. I didn't really like to ask questions in this stuff, and I asked him anyway, and I said, you know, I said, do Buddhists believe in Jesus? And he told me, yes, he believes, Nishijima believes that Jesus was a historical person. And I said, what about God? Do Buddhists believe in God? He said, well, Buddhists believe that God is the universe, and the universe is God. So this was a bit of a different idea than what I was going on. He didn't believe that God is outside the universe and made the universe. So that was a change for me. And then I questioned him about, you know, I asked him about, you know, what exactly do Buddhists believe in, and Zen Buddhists. And he said to me, well, in many ways, you know, Zen Buddhism he said it's a blind belief in Zazen. That's what he said. You can just believe blindly in Zazen. Just do Zazen. All you got to do is believe in Zazen, in some senses, and that's enough if you want to learn about Zen Buddhism. If you can practice Zazen every day. And the other thing he said that Buddhists believe in is reality. So Buddhists believe in reality, that everything exists, that we're living in reality. And that was the main thing I got out of that kind of discussion with him about Buddhist belief. So Buddhists believe in reality, and they believe in Zazen. And then I started to ask him about, you know, why exactly do Buddhists do Zazen? You know, why do you do it? You know, I mean, I understand. I can understand when I do it. I can understand that I can feel the effect of doing it and so on. But you know, how do you explain the reason for doing? What's the meaning of doing it? And one thing that he said, he told me a lot of different things. But one thing that I remember he told me was that normally in our everyday life, a lot of things happen to us during the day. Just we go to work and we go to school, and we're at home and we're dealing with people, and things happen. You know, somebody gets sick, or you know, we fall off our bicycle, or our car, you know, something happens to our car, and stuff like things happen during the day that can kind of upset us and things like that. Or our job is really busy, and you know, we're getting telephone calls from people trying to speak to them. And a lot of the time, we can't really process all that stuff that's happening during the day, because it's happening quite, as well as our normal tasks and duties and work. We have to kind of deal with a lot of this other stuff that's going on. Like, for example, you're driving down the road and you see a car crash, you know, and people maybe are injured and so on. But you have to keep driving your own car, and you have to kind of keep going to work and do your work and so on. So these kind of things that happen, these kind of stuff that happens just, you know, randomly, it can be difficult to kind of process it on the spot. So we internalize it, and we kind of go into our subconscious a bit. But when we do Zazen, we get that bit of space to work through that stuff, to kind of process it, and you know, it doesn't have to. I'm not talking about heavy things all the time. We can kind of sort out our head a little bit, you know, just you know, about what's happening, you know, what happened today at the office, or what happened with, you know, Mr. So-and-so, or what happened at this place or the other. And that's also can relate to what happened to us when we were younger. For example, when we were kids or teenagers, you know, something bad happened or something good happened, or you know, we had a hard time at school and all that kind of stuff. So there is a lot of stuff inside most people. I don't mean inside, but you know, subconsciously we've had experiences that we need to kind of work out in some extent. And Zazen gives us that time to work out the kind of process a lot of that stuff and work through it. And Nishijima used to give a very nice example. He said it's like there's a pot boiling boiling on a stove, or simmering on a stove, and there's water and stuff in there, and the lid is on the pot. So all this stuff that's simmering up, it has to stay in the pot because the lid is on the pot. And he said that's like our normal life. We have all these things inside that are trying to get out, but we don't have a kind of a space there's no way for them to get out and evaporate. But when we do Zazen, it's like taking the lid off the pot, and all this stuff can kind of flow out, and we can get rid of it, so to speak, and let all those kind of subconscious things go, and kind of clear our heads to a certain extent. And you can also let stuff in as well. When the lid is off, we can absorb things from outside as well. And I think when you do Zazen, or when I do Zazen anyway, for the first, for the first 10, 20 minutes or so, depending on how long I'm doing it for, my mind tends to be quite active, kind of working through stuff, what am I going to talk about, and so on and so forth, and should I say this and should I say that. A lot of stuff seems to be happening there. And I think that kind of is like my sorting through or processing all the events that happened and so on. But sometimes towards the end, then, it kind of gets a bit clearer. My kind of brain kind of clears up a bit. And I'm not thinking so much. And, I'm not kind of worried about my legs so much. And, I can just sit there relatively peacefully and calmly. Now, this doesn't happen all the time, of course. Sometimes my legs really hurt, or my mind is really racing. But I think everybody who does Zazen can notice those times. Sometimes you just feel quite okay. Like that. There's not too much happening in your head. And at that time, one thing that you can kind of notice is that, well, first of all, you can notice the present moment. Right? That you're just in the moment. I don't mean this in a big sense, but just in a very simple sense, that you're just sitting there like that. So you can notice the moment, and you can notice that you're just, you're in reality, you're just living in the world, like we all are. And it's a very simple thing, but a lot of the time, for a lot of people during the day or during the year, they don't ever get moments like that where everything is just kind of stopped, and you're just kind of sitting there without an awful lot of going on. And I think that's one of the nice things about doing Zazen is you can kind of you can notice that you're living in reality or in the world. And I think that's one point about doing Zazen is you can kind of experience the present moment without being distracted without being taken away by your ideas or your pain in your legs and things like that. So, and everybody in the world is, we're experiencing each moment as we go. So that's one point about Zazen.